And yes, AI. I think it's obviously clear that we're going to become, if we're not already, under a lot of pressure from central government to exploit the use of AI and for that to improve our services. So it's quite difficult, isn't it? It's a massively broad topic. Its potential to hit all sorts of different services in a variety of different ways. What we've been working hard to do is trying to figure out sort of on the ground what opportunities there are for AI and where those sit. And over the last few months, following on from Rob's presentations at the various user groups about some of the arts of the possible around blue badge and some basic work around sort of fly tipping, we've been kind of demonstrating those and posing the questions to various clients around the country, sort of saying, oh, what would work for you? What would make life more efficient? How could AI actually assist you in your day-to-day? So yeah, this is definitely an evolving story, and we wanted to share with you today where we're at and how that story's got so far. So first up, we're going to have a look at raising a complaint. Lots of our clients use the GOSS platform to manage complaints across the organisation, and we thought there's definitely potential within that area to assist the process of handling that complaint and making life a little bit easier. So as normal with our demo sites, we've got our demo site complaints area, and I'm going to start to raise a highways complaint. So over here, I've got some content. So one of the things around complaints was, it's often very much the case that a complaint, if it's an online form, which obviously hopefully it is, it's a generic text box where we ask the citizen what their issue might be. They fill that in and we process that complaint in accordance with the complaints policy. So here we have an issue from a citizen. What I wanted to do was try and find some real complaints. It's all too easy to sort of fabricate some, which aren't necessarily the same that you might be receiving. So here is a redacted complaint from out there that we've used to see sort of how it could be handled. So this one is, hi, I called up some time ago to report the issue, which is that there is poor drainage outside my house. Number of houses on our side of the street, I'm at the end/bottom, which means that sludge, mud, silt is building up and causing issues. I phoned up around 2 weeks after my initial call to check progress. The next day, a sweeper appeared. I managed to speak to him. This was his fourth attempt to tackle the issue, and he couldn't because cars were parked all along the street. I explained to him, and I've explained on every call I've had with the council this matter, that the only way to effectively complete the job is to provide notice to someone, however short, the night before, the morning of, that someone is coming around to clear the problem. So it's nice they're giving you guidance on how to solve the solution. That way I can get everyone to move their cars in advance. Otherwise, we'll all go around the same issue every time. Now, what we'd like to be done about the complaint. It's almost 3 months on. The issue hasn't been resolved. I'm appealing for some common sense so that we can resolve it, but no solution from the council has been forthcoming. Everyone is very helpful, but no one wants to take ownership. So hopefully, those who've come across complaints in a complaints team before have come across something potentially similar to that from a resident. So I'm going to make the complaint for myself. And we're going to see how AI can help us manage and process that complaint. So what we've introduced here for demonstration purposes is we've sent that text to AI. We're using OpenAI in this example to see if it can just cut through the massive text that we've got within that complaint and make some sort of coherent sense out of it. So we asked AI to give us a couple of sentences as a summary for that complaint, just to compact it down, to speed it up. So the complainant reports a persistent drainage issue outside their home caused by accumulating sludge, mud and silt due to poor drainage. Despite comms with the council and attempts to resolve the issue, a lack of coordination has prevented the problem being effectively addressed. We also asked AI to highlight a potential service area that this case should be assigned to, which it's done. And we've also asked AI to suggest some tasks that we should do for this complaint. So we want to inform the resident in advance when street sweeper will be visiting, coordinate with parking enforcement for parking restrictions, coordinate a thorough review of the drainage system, increase comms with the resident regarding the progress. So not something that's necessarily setting the world alight, but in accordance with the complaint guidelines, these are the sort of things that we should be highlighting of the actions that we've taken on a complaint. Obviously here within a couple of seconds, this complaint has been categorized, summarized, and some tasks been suggested. The AI is 90% confident in its analysis, and we've got a justification for that confidence underneath. So the user will carry on and submit their complaint, and what we'll do is actually show you where you would see that content in the complaint itself. So I'll log into my staff portal, I'll go to my tasks, and I'll open up that incoming complaint. So in here, we can hopefully see in a second some case highlights. So this is where we'd expect you to really see that information. So the case manager who's picked up this complaint right here, right now, can see what the AI has considered for this particular complaint. Alongside that, we can see the case details to look at the real detail of the complaint. But AI in this respect has done a really good job of summarizing it. And this information could obviously be used to progress it, hopefully progress it faster. But some of this information could equally be used to act as our sort of summarization report at the end of this. The thing is, it's not just limited to highways complaints. This could also work really effectively across perhaps adult social care as well. So again, over here, we've got another complaint. And I think the sentiment from my analysis is that, and certainly when we've been demonstrating this thus far, that the nature of complaints is that it can be quite confusing, quite a lot of sort of upset, maybe some bad language used, maybe some incorrect spellings out there for a complaint. So this one here is about not getting enough support as a carer, but it's quite difficult. Well, it's quite time consuming to read the whole complaint to actually get to the nub of the issue in here. So what we've asked AI to do is, again, summarize that for us. So I've complained so many times about the same issues. All my comms get closed off as resolved, even though they're not. I'm an unpaid carer, and I just need some support. So let's pass this one through again. And we can see that the AI will do a fantastic job at giving us a one-sentence summary, so picking out the detail, a service area, and a list of actions. So from a text point of view, I think we're seeing that there's huge potential in what AI can do with the complaints field in itself. Same could be said for FOIs. Again, some long text, lots of requests need to be distilled down into some actions that we can take forward. So that's complaints, and that's text analysis with AI. We can obviously take this into the world of image analysis as well. So again, as indicated in a couple of user groups before, we sort of showed the potential for AI to analyze images that were provided and give us an indication of what we were dealing with. A common use case that we picked up first of all was, fly tips. Wouldn't that be great? Let's get a picture of a fly tip and let's figure out what's going on with it. So here we've got an example. So if we cool, so we've added this into our report it product. And before I upload my image, I'll just get it on screen. So this is the image I'm going to use for fly tips, full of all sorts of things in here, all sorts of things that would take a bit of analysis and review by an officer. What we want the AI to do is to see if it can help us do that. So in this at the moment, we've got a category, which we're still asking to be humanly categorized at the minute, but we don't have to. I'm then going to drag over my image. Didn't see the offence happen. I don't want to leave my details in this case. And again, for demonstration purposes only, we wouldn't necessarily show all of this to the customer. Although you can see here how we are actually using that AI analysis to put out some prompts and commands to the customer. So just expand the AI insights. So here we've got a description of the image. The image shows a pile of waste on a dirt path, including various household items, cardboard boxes, and a blue gas canister. So we've asked the AI to tick a checkbox for hazardous items. Doesn't believe that any access is being blocked. It has recognised there was a gas canister in it. There are no black bags. There is cardboard. And because of the hazardous nature and the gas canisters, this case should be escalated. So the AI has done our analysis and actually pre-populated our form fields for us, which allow us to then sort of move this case through the business. The summary is there may be signs of evidence such as address labels on some cardboard boxes. So we added cardboard box as a prompt to the AI to say, if you can see cardboard, why not flag that up? Because you could see cardboard, potentially that might mean that it's some sort of parcel for delivery. So that fact it's a parcel for delivery could well mean that there's some address information on that cardboard that could be analysed further. So this context, again, just for demo purposes, we've really sort of said, oh, let's flag that up to the customer and say we found cardboard, and let's ask them if they could take more pictures of that cardboard to identify who might be the perpetrator. So really just sort of describing and showing how not only can AI do the analysis, but it could also, with the integrated with the forms design, make further decisions for the user and get more information. So we've got the button here now exposed to add further images. Again, this case would be submitted. It would be assigned to our team because of the gas canister to get out there pretty quickly and pick it up and resolve that issue. And we've got a confirmation message here as well. So that's just letting them know what we're dealing with it. All again fed and managed by the AI. So again, the case will come in and we'll see that information again in the case highlights. You can sort of take this example a lot further. So we took that example to Gateshead on Tuesday this week and sort of said, hey, Flightabeg, look what we could do. I had a fantastic chat with the environmental services team about the opportunities there were in that alone, the efficiencies that could or could not bring to the party, and then talk of other service functions and how looking at these other areas could bring further improvement. So one of those was abandoned vehicles. So in here, again, user could tell us where it is. That's key. Come along and upload an image. So for the benefits of everyone being able to see that image, because I think that's often one thing I missed. Here is the image we are uploading. It's a quite an old red Alfa Romeo that's been burnt out and has some visible identifiers on the vehicle. So let's drag that out of the way and let's see what the AI can do with that. There we go. Again, in a similar fashion, got the AI insights telling us immediately what it's identified from that vehicle. So it's an abandoned, burnt out vehicle with visible damage. I think the windows are all smashed in. The car is rusted and missing windows. We've asked it to specifically say whether it's what the condition is. So tick these boxes. It's a wreck and it's burnt out and thus needs escalating. We also asked the AI to see if there was a vehicle registration plate on the vehicle, and if so, to populate this field with what it could see. So you can see here it's injected the vehicle reg into that field. It's also given us a summary that it can see it. It's 95% confident in its analysis, and it will justify that to us as well. What then we can do is integrate that with the DVLA lookup. We can take that automatically classified vehicle reg, pass it to the DVLA to tell us more details about the vehicle, the make, the model, and the colour, and its tax and MOT status. So again, information that's all been handled automatically within a couple of seconds whilst I progressed through that form. The team at Gateshead Council said there were various different ways in which they might handle an abandoned vehicle, depending on what state it was in, whether it was taxed or whether it wasn't taxed, and all that kind of stuff, which obviously, if you were handling that manually for each one, could be quite time consuming. So the fact that this case comes in all categorized from the outset, potentially save that early analysis time. It won't necessarily replace it entirely in the early stages. It will still need to be verified and checked. But the fact that we've done that should make the process a lot simpler. So again, if we go into the staff side, pick up our case for abandoned vehicle, you can see that all that detail and image is shown again in the highlights for us to review. So that's what the agents would see when they're picking this one up. So really useful classification in there. And this story just goes on and on and on. You sort of think, oh, okay, what else could we do? So you start to have quite a bit of fun with this now, and explore the other areas. What's key, what's of interest, what do we need to know about something? So we take this into overhanging trees. Again, not massive, probably not a massive service in itself. It's probably not necessarily receiving thousands and thousands of inquiries, but each one takes time and decisions need to be made. So if we now look at some arbor issues, here is a picture. Don't need to point out the obvious. It's a bush overhanging a pavement that a resident has kindly provided to us. So let's pop that one into the case. Again, you don't want to have to deal with every single case. So potentially, this is where you could automate the solution. If someone takes a picture of an overhanging tree and the AI doesn't believe that it is, we could suggest that in the case and prompt the user straight away that actually we're not going to deal with this right now because it doesn't seem to be an issue. So image shows a tree with branches extended over the pavement causing obstruction. It is overhanging, therefore it will be escalated, and a description to go with it. So again, because these fields are checked by the AI, as you might know, obviously as forms designers, you can trigger different case types to be created. You can configure different teams for it to go to. You could flag it up differently within the task list, etc., etc. All because we've used the AI image analysis component to review it for us. What we could do while we're here is also show that it's not just can it identify overhanging trees. We might have an issue where residents are complaining that there's a tree which is diseased, which is on a public park owned by the council, which needs perhaps knocking down before it causes any injury. They can upload an image of that tree, whatever it may be, and the AI will analyze it to work out whether it may have some sort of disease. So in this case, yes, it thinks it does. It's ticked the box for us, and it's potentially identified what the issues might be. So again, specialist knowledge perhaps needed to understand that within the team. The AI is doing a really good job at giving us an indication of what to do with the issue.
Great point raised by Toby there, Andy, in the chat, suggesting it'd be good because the customer uploaded the wrong image. The AI could prompt them to check the image as part of their submission process. Nice idea.
Yep, yeah, defo. So that'd be another prompt. That was one thing that came out of Gateshead as well. So there's subtle differences between what can be considered a fly tip versus a crisp packet on the pavement. So someone might say, "Oh, that's a fly tip." We could ask the AI to see whether it thought the fly tip was large or small, or just an individual item. In which case, yeah, send them down a different path. We talked a little bit about complaints at the beginning, and again, we've been working on another example over here, similar to Toby's suggestion, around how people may use the complaints part of the council website to actually raise what you might otherwise consider to be a service request. So in here, we've been playing with this again, so it's just on our dev site. So we see this over and over again. We have lots of lengthy conversations about this. People will go to the council complaint system and complain about their bin being missed. Obviously, that can lead to additional handling that may have not been required. It can lead to something not having all the information it needs to have. So again, we can ask the AI to analyze that, and it will flag up to us. You seem to be reporting a missed bin. Is this correct? If so, please go to our report a missed bin form, which is over here, which they can fill in. The AI summary: the complainant is upset due to the bin not being collected last week, and requests to be picked up. It's for waste management, and there's 3 outcomes. So yeah, we could also help direct people. We could go, oh, hang on, you seem to be reporting a missed bin. Why don't you give us your address? And you give us your address, we'll just fire this straight into the missed bin case type. So yeah, lots of sort of fun you can have with that side of things as well. So that's really good.
Nice feedback for you, Andy, in the chat. Roger has congratulated you on the progress you made since Tuesday, and raised a point. I think it's about how you create your forms. Is the idea that you need to promote the importance of customers taking photos in the reported form at the beginning of the process. So think about your form design where you put the photo upload as part of that form submission. Valid point, Roger. Thank you for that.
Yeah, that's right. I think we're talking on Tuesday about the importance of the image. I think to the back office team, even before AI, I think just having an image just gives them something to work on, doesn't it? Having an image that is also categorized before you even start is even better. So yeah, and I think the complete restructure of those forms, just say, look, give us a location, give us an image, and we're done here. We don't need anything else. So hopefully making the customer's experience much better as well as a result. So yeah, lots and lots of potential. Like you say, it's once you've got the tools, it's very easy to add in the prompts to re-architect something, as we've done in the demonstration today since Tuesday. So yeah, it was really good working with the team and just coming up with these scenarios which you don't just not aware of unless you're working in the service area. So final example we have, we've talked a lot about potentially how AI can support the transaction side of things, but it's also feasible really for AI to assist with creating content as well. So what we've got here is a fairly typical missed bin article that you will probably all have on your sites, those dealing in waste. What AI can often like to use to propose content is something that's sort of more designed around an FAQ, a set of questions and a bunch of answers to those. AI can quite like to do that when it's delivering content to the end user. Obviously, that can be quite time consuming for you to have to create. So you've got your lovely architected information, but there's a demand potentially to change that into an FAQ. But AI could do that for you as well. So we'll give it the standard content here in a form. We'll ask it to go off and generate an FAQ based on what we've given it. And there you go. So an example of the FAQ creating 10, 15 frequently asked questions based on the content that we've given it. So how do I report a missed bin? What should I check before doing so? Where should I place my bin? What items should be in my bin? what happens if it's overfilled. So very quickly, you've got an additional element of constructed content that could either be visible on your staff site or visible to your users, or really just used by AI to help customer service agents dealing with inquiries perhaps over the phone as well. So yeah, really fast, really good application of the benefits of AI, and ultimately, hopefully, delivering some sort of efficiency.